Good morning. This is Keloland On the Go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your weekend. We also have your boredom busters coming up. First, our top story. 2 people are dead in a weekend crash in southeast Sioux Falls. It happened just before 6:30 last night at the intersection of 57th Street and Veterans Parkway. Police say the driver of a car was turning left onto 57th in front of an oncoming pickup truck, and the 2 vehicles collided. A 78-year-old woman who was a passenger in the car died at the scene. The 77-year-old man driving the car later died at the hospital. Both are from Lester, Iowa. The 35-year-old man driving the pickup was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will receive an honorary degree from Dakota State University during today's commencement in Madison. Keloland News will have a team of reporters covering today's happenings. Noem is also the main speaker at the commencement, which begins at 10:30 a.m. You can watch her address live here on Keloland.com. We'll also have a crew set up outside of the ceremony where people are expected to gather for a rally. A Sioux Falls man appeared in court Friday charged in connection with a standoff west of downtown. Authorities say a woman saw a man peeking through the window at a home on 12th Street Thursday morning and went outside to confront him. The suspect allegedly pulled out what they thought was a gun and pointed it at them. Officers later found 58-year-old Ronald Detress Jr. at this motel. Following a 2-hour-long standoff, police learned that the gun was a BB gun. Detress is charged with simple assault and window peeking. A Sioux Falls banker helped save a woman from being scammed out of thousands of dollars. Ethan Getty said he noticed something was off when he saw the victim at a Bitcoin kiosk inside of a gas station carrying a stack of $100 bills. He says scammers will tell victims to take out large amounts of cash to purchase Bitcoin or gift cards and even direct them to lie to their bank.
Hold to go into her bank and say that she was buying a car in cash, and that's how she was able to pull out $25,000 easily.
The victim was told she needed to buy the Bitcoin to avoid going to jail for missing jury duty. Sioux Falls police encouraged everyone to contact the city directly to verify any charges or fines that they might have before sending any money. Let's take our first look at the forecast now with meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, everybody. A hot day today. Temperatures well above normal for this time of the year. We're projecting a high in Sioux Falls, 87. Lots of sunshine. Southeast winds beginning to pick up. A little stronger in Pierre and Aberdeen as well as Rapid City today, 15 to 30. And this is a plenty warm start to kick off the weekend. Even warmer tomorrow on Mother's Day and fire weather watches and warnings. And we'll talk about that coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Feeding South Dakota teams up today with the National Association of Letter Carriers for its biggest food drive of the year. It's called Stamp Out Hunger, when you're asked to fill a bag with non-perishable, non-glass items and set it outside by your mailbox. Feeding South Dakota is especially in need of cereal, pancake mix, and canned fruits and vegetables. Letter carriers are hoping to collect 60,000 pounds of food on their rounds today. The new recreation center on the west side of Sioux Falls is proving to be far more popular than expected. Membership at the center, which opened just 5 months ago, has already surpassed what the city projected for the entire year.
We were anticipating around 2,500 to 2,600, so to be just under that 4,000 mark is quite impressive.
Nelson says the rec center has also seen an increase in the number of low-income families joining due to reduced rates offered to those who qualify for reduced pricing on memberships. The rec center is open tomorrow for Mother's Day. The Cinco de Mayo Festival is a celebration of Latino culture and heritage in Sioux Falls. The free fiesta goes from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Falls Park and includes live music, dancing, food, piñatas, and a dog fashion show. The fiesta benefits Caminando Juntos, a ministry of the Presentation Sisters. The Empire Mall in Sioux Falls is hosting a firefighter appreciation event that includes fire truck tours, kids' crafts, games, and refreshments. The free event is taking place in the East J.C. Penney parking lot from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Businesses in Laverne, Minnesota are hosting a Mother's Day Flower Walk. All mothers and mothers-to-be are invited to the participating businesses between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. to receive a free fresh flower stem to create their own Mother's Day bouquets. Madtown Bike Day includes free helmets, e-bike test rides, and kids' bicycle inspections in the parking lot of Madison Vision Clinic. It's taking place from 1 to 5 p.m. and also includes bike rides around Lake Madison. And enjoy sprint cars, street stock, and hobby stock racing at I-90 Speedway in Hartford. Gates open at 5, hot laps are at 6:30, and the races start at 7. Admission is $17, $7 for children, and free for ages 12 and under. Brian?
All right, as we look at your weather headlines for the rest of the weekend, well, tomorrow on Mother's Day, headline here is a fire weather watch and a fire weather warning. So this is in basically the process of being upgraded to a warning. I think it's looking pretty likely that will be the case in much of southeast South Dakota, just given the fact that the winds are strong enough, humidity is low enough, and then I'm going to add blowing dust here too. When we get gusts over 40 miles per hour, there's definitely going to be some of that patchy dust here and there. Hopefully it's confined, but I just want to get you ahead of that story because we're calling for highs near 90, winds nearing 40 miles per hour. And that says a lot there for those that are dry, and certainly some of us are drier than other spots after the recent rains from April. But every day like this, it does take a toll on that topsoil moisture. Look at your temperatures this afternoon. Sioux Falls, we think at least 85 to 87. We'll park around that range here later this afternoon, so it's slightly cooler than yesterday. Meanwhile, Rapid will be warmer than yesterday. Pierre also mid to upper 80s pretty likely. We'll carry that wind overnight tonight, so it's not going to get very chilly. It'll be in the upper 50s and low 60s to kick off Mother's Day, and temperatures very summer-like tomorrow. Widespread upper 80s and low 90s across the board. I'm not really counting on much of that moisture chance in the west. If that does pop up, it'd actually almost be detrimental because it'd almost be dry thunder showers if something like that forms because your humidity is so low. We're talking probably peak, or I'm sorry, the deficits on the humidity in the afternoon. I would say 15% humidity seems pretty likely late in the afternoon. Monday, not much different. We're going to soar again, upper 80s, low 90s. We'll keep it going here into Tuesday. Wednesday, that starts changing. In fact, that's a big opportunity to shake things up here. And look what the wind does. Wind is strong tomorrow. That's pretty obvious. You got a belt of wind here running Aberdeen to Winter. That's at least 30 to 45, maybe wind gusts near 50. Monday, it's not a lot different. It's at least going to peak at 30 to 40 in the afternoon. Even Tuesday, we have more south winds, at least East River. Now, western South Dakota, we start watching this prefrontal trough and then the eventual activation of showers and thunderstorms. You notice there's a big difference there in the wind between Mitchell and Rapid City Wednesday afternoon. And we anticipate that this frontal boundary will trigger thunderstorms, areas of rain. More the better. We do need the rain. We don't need any severe weather. That would be one thing that we'll have to continue to watch to see what that does. And then the wind on the backside of the low there, Thursday. Look at all that. Plasters the wind map there for Thursday, Friday. So, yeah, we've been kind of in a lull on wind, but that is all about to change. Next week, we got lots of wind. So, the reason the wind is around, we got a blocking high. It's stubborn to move out, so the low to the west is starting to move in, and as those two exchange, that's why we have windy weather. But here's that thunderstorm chance Wednesday afternoon, running from western North Dakota into central South Dakota. Notice, though, that the southern flank of that is not as much in Nebraska. So when we talk about showers and thunderstorms in our region, we still think most of our coverage area can catch some of that. The longer the low sits around, the more chances of rain into Thursday, Friday. And then as we get into next weekend, well, lo and behold, we got another system coming out of the Rockies. And this has been showing more consistency. It's going to have the Gulf moisture available. In fact, it was interesting to watch the latest batch of data on this storm track because the low comes into South Dakota and gets stalled for a little while. So, you know, if you're wanting moisture, a lot of you are watching us for that. Well, that would be a good scenario. We're still far from that being the exact forecast, but it's certainly a trend that I'd keep an eye on to see what happens here with that. It is less rain to our south, probably thunderstorms in the warm sector, though, with severe weather pretty likely on a pattern like that. There's that rain outlook, too, by the way. A lot of this applies to Wednesday and after, so let's keep watching that. We'll need it. There's no question about it with this kind of weather leading into the forecast. Days 1, 2, 3, 4, and most of day 5 are all dry in Sioux Falls. The wind, That, well, switches direction Thursday, Friday. Temperatures will slide. How much they slide? Probably 70s. Aberdeen, the Northeast, also change in the weather with that frontal system coming through Wednesday, late into Thursday. And it may end up stalling long enough. We might add a little rain chance to Friday, too. So if you got some planting to do, you might want to think about your strategy on that a little bit. You got some windows of opportunity to do that. Obviously, many of you already have, but do keep in mind, too, that the weather forecast by the end of the 7-day is going to start to cool down. In fact, that's only the tip of the cooling. You wouldn't, well, there's no time in this segment to talk about this, but next week, temperatures in the 40s and 50s for highs is looking more and more likely. On that note, we'll end this segment, but check out more details online at Keloland.com.